Hello everybody, this is Artisan Loom here with another one of my original designs. I created this one 23 weeks ago and it is called Sugar Plum. And never thought the red and purple would go together, but surprisingly it does, and I absolutely love it. So I had a request to do a tutorial from Fifth Luminizer, and so I am bringing this one especially for her. And it doesn't go a full wrap. I'm going to do 2 loom links, but it's kind of a tight design, and so obviously it's not going to be a full wrap, but you can put a small extension on, or you can go 3 like 2.5 loom links. That way it'll just give you that extra little bit to close it off. I'm fine with it like this because what I can do is I can go to which I already know where I can go, but you can go to my YouTube channel, and I did a tutorial for the button lock closure, which is by Nix Haley 22, and that just gives it a nice little way to get around if you made your bracelets a little too small, and it makes it look really elegant. So I'm going to attempt to redo this one again, and hopefully it'll come out okay. It is quite a tight design. Please use good quality bands, as there are some very long stretches, so you want to account for that. I really wouldn't use LE except for in certain parts. I'm going to use it on my border, and then I think in the center I'm going to use one of the LEs, or the gemstone. I guess they're LEs, they're cylindric round bands. I'm going to use that for part of the center because then it doesn't have to span over like a big long stretch. So keep that in mind. It is a 6 pin bar design. So you would have the 2 center ones at the same level, same height, and then go up 2 on each side. So this is the loom setup. Okay. And 2 full loom lengths long. Now I imagine with this one I did mostly use like the 600 count pack, so except for on the border, so it's still a pretty thick design. I'm going to be using somewhat of the same, except for I'm going to be using white sweets for part of it, so that's going to tighten it up a bit more. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the these cylindric, or they're LEs, I guess, and this was in the fuchsia carbon mix. So these are like a shade lighter than the cylindric jet black, so they're just a little bit lighter. They're more charcoal-y looking. But I went ahead and I took a 6/0 seed bead and I threaded it onto it. I made a bunch of those because you can do whatever you want. You don't have to bead it, but since I'm beading it, I'm going to do every other one on the sides going up. So basically, we're going to take 1 band and bring it across the center, and then go out to the left twice, obviously, to the border. Okay, now I'm going to do every other one going up. So I guess I'll start with a plain band. Well, look, I've got a little bit of a lip of where they didn't cut the band correctly. I don't want that to show, so I'm going to grab the end and pull on it, and it usually just pulls it off. Okay, so I'm going to go straight up on both sides with the plain band. And then if you decide to do plain bands all the way down, you just continue all the way. But if you decide to bead it, this is where I do every other band. So plain band, beaded band, plain band, beaded band. I'm going to do the same exact thing on the other side. Plain band, beaded band, plain band, beaded band. I'm going to go off camera. You go ahead and finish up your border. And I believe what you're going to do is you're going to stop, because we want it to look the same as we did here. So you're going to come up here move my, and you are going to, let's see, you're going to go to the third peg and you'll stop here and then you'll go up 2, and you do the same thing here and then go up 2, and you'll stop here and do not put a band right there. We'll do that at the end. Okay, so go ahead and do that and I will be right back. Now that I have that done, what we're going to work on is where I have these button up against the border. That would be where I had those Persian purples, but I'm going to use the I guess these are called Peridot, and they're 600 count pack, and I think they're Persians, but they're the new bands that have come out. They're super thin. That's the only thing that I'm kind of about. I wish they would come out with 300 count, but they're so gorgeous that this green color. So so I'm going to start here, and we're just going to make long stretches. So you need really good quality bands for this part. Just so you know before you get started. My hands are so slippery because I put lotion on them. So I'm having a hard time. I got to go a little slower. But you're just going to do long stretches on each one, okay? On both sides. So you'll start here and go up. Do the same thing on this side. Okay, so finish that part to the end. This is another part where you're going to need the long stretches as well. So you need good, see, I've got 5 colors here that I wanted to use, but I may have to figure it out because in this design I only had 4 colors. But I may put an extra color down in the center instead of just one solid color. But I've got these gemstone LEs, and I'd love for them to go right here, but look, they don't stretch very far, so they wouldn't really make it. They would make it to here, but they wouldn't make it brought back to themselves, so I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to use is I'm going to use the opaque purple, which feels, I mean, it's like a deep purple. It feels like it's more of a jelly, but it's opaque. So what we're going to do is we are going to first start off right here and go to the right, okay? And then we're going to go to this peg and do a long stretch that way. And then we're going to go up to the next one and then come over here. Okay? So it's very simple. Wherever it last connects, you need to connect the next one. Just like that, all the way up the loom. So on this side, we shall, let's see here, went that way first. We'll go this way, go out that way first so that we have the same mirror image. Okay, and then we're going to go like that. Go to the next peg up, stretch it over, go to this one, stretch it over. Wherever this connects, you're going to go back the other direction, and then always over here to cross over. Okay, and you're going to do that the entire way up the loom. So go ahead and finish that part. Okay, I'm putting this here in the center because I did a little bit of a crazy thing. When I created the design 23 weeks ago and I used all the purple down the center, or the red down the center, I used these white long stitches down the center. Well, they're red in the bracelet, but in this version I did the white and I beaded those, and did not come out. So when I wrote this note, please leave the white stitches down the center completely off. They're not needed, and at the end of the tutorial you'll see what I mean. I did take them off. Omit that part completely. I would have taken it out in editing this, but when I got them all laid at the top, I went straight to the next step and I wasn't sure how to take that step out. So I'm telling you to omit the center part that you lay first, which is the white stitches in my tutorial. Leave those completely off. If you would like to bead, the center, then when you do the backwards stitches, you can probably bead right here. Okay? or you can bead that one going all the way up. But I apologize for the confusion, but please, please, please leave that center off, and you'll come out with the most fantabulous stitch in the center that I didn't even know existed because I had that on top of it. So, okay, get back to looming and just remember what I said. Leave that part off, and then you'll come out with a lovely, lovely design. Okay, so once you get that done, what I did is I'm going to use, because I can't use Ellie in this part, I'm using the white sweets to give it a little sparkle. And basically what you're going to do is, well, what I did, and you can choose to or not, is I beaded up, I don't know if this is a 6mm, but just a bead that has some purple in it. And we're going to do every other one going up. Except for the center part, I'm going to leave that blank, so I think you'll need 4 of those. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to start here with the plain band and bring it out to the right. Okay? And then I'm going to take my beaded band and I'm going to stretch it the other way. And then a plain band and a beaded band. Okay, and then what I did was I decided to, let's see, let me get enough bands. I need 4 plain bands. I'm going to leave this part blank here so that I can put a charm on there. If you choose, you can just do the beads all the way down or no beads at all. But I figure if I have a charm and it has to fit over these, see, because look how wide they are. So if this charm had to fit over it, it just would make it not sit right. So that's what we're going to do, because I already know I'm going to put a charm on it. So at this point, we're going to do the next 4 bands are going to be plain bands. Okay, so just go in the opposite direction, and that should make it even. Okay. And then we go back to the beaded band and just follow that up. And then the plain band. Let me just try and set, well, my camera doesn't want to go, it doesn't want to go in between my tripods, so I'll just leave it up here since I'm at the end anyhow. And then we'll go back the other direction with, make sure this one isn't so twisted. Doesn't matter, I'm going to have to go through and untwist them at the end, but, and then a plain one, I believe, is what we've got there. And then I think what we're going to need to do is we got to connect this over to, well, let me tell you what I did here with these purple bands. I went ahead and, you know how like here's the long stretch in the purple and then the long stretch here? This one was just hanging here, so I went ahead and brought it over to the border, just a small stretch on both sides. That way it doesn't leave a gap there and it'll catch it. So basically once you get done with these white bands going up, you're going to need to get that over to the border as well. Okay, so it should look like that. Okay, now we're going to do something a little bit different, which I think where I'm going to use, I don't know how this will be because I usually like solid centers, so I'm not so sure. But I really love these, the color of these purple gemstone LE bands. So what I'm going to do, and they don't have to stretch as far, so let me get that one. But what I did was I went from this right peg and I stretched it over. And then I went straight over. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing the whole way up. It's like a backwards 7. Okay, so there. And then to the right. And then take it from the right to the left. And the left straight over. And you're going to do that the entire way up the loom. Okay, so from the right you connect it to the left. And then from here, you just go straight over. You're doing a backwards 7. Okay, so finish that all the way to the end. So I finished that all the way up the loom, and now what we're ready to turn your loom around. I need to put a, I'm going to take the, let's see, my border color, which would be the black, charcoal, carbon, whatever. And I'm going to do a double cat band and just bring it straight over just like that. Okay? What we're going to do is, let's see here. Sorry, I'm clicking away. I got to make sure what I'm doing. I didn't rotate my... Click, 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 click. Let me just make sure that I have the placement right, or exactly how I want to loom it. One more time, okay. All right, let's go back here. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to go in through, we're going to grab this top. Why did it just, I'm telling you, why is it doing this to me? Okay, so we're going to go in and we're going to get the top band. And we're just going to do it, everything just back to itself like normal. Okay, so always the top band, which is going to be in this right one. Just bring it back to itself and then go up here and bring it over. Then go through and bring it over. Well, looky here, looky here. I guess these bands just aren't going to cut it. Let me put this back. I'm going to be a little disappointed if these don't work because I didn't hardly have any stretch on these. Okay, let me turn this back around. I've got to fix this. This makes no sense. Come on, people. These are just not even a big stretch. Over, up. There's no way it should have snapped on me like that. Take this one up. Fix it back. Okay, I'm going to turn you back around. I'm telling you, if it snaps again, I'm not going to throw it. I was going to say, I'm going to throw this thing up against the wall, but not going to do it. Okay, so just go in here, bring it back to itself. These aren't even big stretches, so it makes no sense. Okay, and just follow it the exact same pattern. All the way up the loom, every band back to itself, these purple ones. Okay, so go ahead and finish this part. I'll go off camera. So now what we need to do is tend to the white bands going up, and all you're doing is just bringing it back to themselves. So you go in and bring it back to itself. Long stretches. Okay, so I'm going to let you finish that part. And then when we come back, I need you to put a cat band on both of these pegs. Okay, we put 2 cat bands here, and these were the small stretches that we have. These were triple cat bands. And what I did is I went in from this side and picked up that band and brought it over here, and I did the same to here. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we want to always get the bottom band, and we're going to do this in steps. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go in through here, grab the band that goes up, and then go back into where it connects, and we're going to do this all the way up the loom, okay? So go ahead and finish that. We're only going to do the long stretches just like this. We'll worry about the rest in a minute. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing on this side. We'll just do this in steps, that way we don't miss anything, okay? So we're going to go in through this cat band, and we're going to bring the long stretch up, and then we're going to just go straight up like we did just a second ago. Just follow the long stretches where they connect all the way up the loom, okay? And I'll be right back. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go in through this peg, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to bring this one up and over, this where it connects, and just go straight up the loom with the long stretches, okay? So I'm going to go off camera, finish this, and then what we'll do is we'll do the same thing on this side. We're going to go in through this peg, grab that long stretch, and just follow it, just going all the way up. Wherever it connects, you just connect on top of that. Okay? So I'm off camera, finish both sides up, and we'll see what the next step is. So see, look what happened. Okay, so this is where this one ended. We went from here to there. Now we have nothing from here to connect it. So that's where I messed up. So always a boo-boo in my tutorials, but we need to get a band that stretches from here to here. And it's got to go up underneath here. So what I'm going to do, and hopefully you can see what I'm doing. It's not hard. I'm going to go in through here, through all the bands, okay? And I'm going to take my band and I'm going to put it on the hook. If I can see what I'm doing. Okay, it's on the hook. I'm going to twist the hook this way, bring it through and bring it back up and place it right there. Okay, and then I'm going to just use my hook to get it to drop down up underneath. And what I'm going to do is bring it over to, let's see, I'm going to lift these two up and I'm going to bring it over to here, okay, and then put these back on. Maybe I put them upside down, put them the wrong way, or twisted them. Okay, so I want this band to go underneath all these and span it. You have to take these two off and put it here and then place these two back on, okay? Now you'll see what I'm talking about. See, now we have a way to get this, because if you don't connect this over to the border, it will fall apart. So you have to go into here and grab this top band, or that band, and then bring it over to the border. Okay? And that will connect that to there. We need to do the same over here. So I'm going to get a band, and what I'm going to do is, and it's hard to tell, maybe I should turn it this way and see if it makes it easier to see, because now I'm working on this side. We need a band to go from here to there to connect this to the border, okay? So I'm going to go in and go up underneath, well, let's see here. I've got to, I can't just go up underneath these two. There's also this band that's underneath. So I got to go through all of those bands. I'm not going to be able to do it from this side. I'm not good at that. Okay, let me start this over here. Oh, reposition. Okay, hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I need a band to go from here to here. So I'm going to go through all of the bands. See how I've caught that that top of that dark purple? I'm going to go ahead and put it on my hook and carefully bring it up and bring it back on my pin. Then I'm going to drop it, and I'm just going to let this go down to the bottom. Let me make sure it's up underneath this band. Yep, see, it's underneath. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two off and hold it on your hook. Place it on, and then put them both back in the same order. Okay, so that's what it should look like. So now I need to get this one and bring it straight over, and see how it caught it. See how it went underneath this band here? It went under here, and so it caught it so that it won't fall apart now. Okay, well, wish I would have caught that at the beginning. So that's where I went wrong. I really didn't need this small span here. I needed it at the top instead. So, oh well. That's life. No big deal. Okay, so After we got that part done, now what we're going to do is, let's see here, oops, I'm going to have to, let me scooch back a bit and see what I need to do. Okay, now what's left, as you can see, is this band over to here. We've done nothing with this band yet. So the band's going across like that, we've done nothing with yet. So now we've got to be able to connect those. So we're going to go into this band and bring it up. And then we're going to do the same as we did and just kind of reconnect them all the way up the loom. So there's like 3 steps. Okay, you're going to do that all the way up the loom. And we're going to do the same thing over here. Okay, we haven't done anything with this one, so we're going to go in through this peg. Oops, how did I get 2 of those? Okay, I need to get the bottom band and bring it over, and just wherever it connects, we're just going to do this all the way up the loom, and that should take care of all these dark purple bands. Okay, so go ahead and finish that, and I will meet you back here, and then we'll just deal with these green bands. So now the green bands, what we're going to do is we're going to go in through this peg, because it always has to come to the back over to the border, but we're not going to bring it back to itself. We're going to go in, grab it, and bring it straight to the right. Okay, and we're going to do the same going all the way up the loom. Instead of bringing it back to itself, we're going to bring it straight over. Okay. Okay, simple. We're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to go in through here, and instead of bringing it back to itself, we're going to bring it straight over. We're going to do the same thing over here. Okay, so do that the entire way up. Okay, so now all we have left is the border. So you're going to go in and just do your normal border going all the way up the loom, okay? Simple, simple border. I just like simple borders. It's already bad enough I've got to think of all the steps. I don't want to have to think too much on the border as well and make it too complicated for my little crazy brain. So just finish this the border till you come in to where the 2 pegs meet at the top. Okay, so I came from the border to right here on both sides, and now I can just put my hook through the center and bring it up, hold it with my finger, get the other side up, put them both on the hook like that, and go ahead and put the C-clip right there. Okay, I'm going to let it hang out there. I don't know, I guess it's just out of precaution. But I'll get my other hook. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look underneath, and you can see that it's all, it looks to me like it's all looped, so it should not fall apart. So at this point, we can just loosen the tension on both sides going up, okay? Still want to be careful because of how long you've stretched the bands. So I'll go, oops, look at that one. I can already tell. Hold up. Let me see what I did. I'm going to bring this one back over here. Before I get too far, I think I messed up. Here I told you it wasn't gonna fall apart, but okay, maybe it won't. Let me look at this one more time. Okay, I see over here as well as I see the other place. This is just hanging there. Still shouldn't fall apart though. I was thinking, and it's going to be fine. I was thinking that this part, oh, excuse me. I was thinking that this part had to be connected to this, but it doesn't. It's not going to fall apart. It looks like it's going to, but it's not. Oh my goodness, I just scared myself. I scared myself. Okay. Never mind, it's hooked. Should be okay. I'm just going to go through and do that. And then what I'll do is just go off each single one carefully and pop them off. Shouldn't fall apart. I've got to be real careful with these gemstone LEs because they popped on me earlier. So I'm going to finish this part up, see what it looks like. I'm not so sure about my white going up the center, but we're going to find out. So I'll meet you back when I get mine off the loom. Okay, so it's off the loom. I went ahead and fixed the bands, fixed all the beads on the edge. I really like the colors. I hate the white bands down the center that has the purple beads on them. I left this part center open so that I can put a nice charm there, but I'm really hating these white bands. The only reason why that I chose to use the white down this part, because it was long zigzags going up, was because I needed a stretchy band that was going to stretch long enough, and I knew that these sweets would do the trick without busting, because underneath here where I have these purple LEs, they had very little stretch, and so I knew that I couldn't put the beads on those and also have them stretch. It just wasn't going to work. So to be honest, if you do decide to make this, and you know, you can, and to be honest with you on this one, I used all the same color down the center. So, and then these where I have the white bands is where I would place the beads, and then it would just kind of blend in. I'm thinking that maybe you don't even need to have these on there. I think what I can do, and I might very well do it because I like the colors, I don't like these white bands, is I may go ahead and snip them out and take the white bands completely out, because I have a feeling, because if you can remember up the loom how we did that backward 7, or hold on, like this all the way up, I think that it's not going to fall apart because they all connected to each peg, and then this got brought over. So I'm thinking that I might be all right if I just snip those out and take them out completely and put a nice charm in the center. Like I said, I made it 23 weeks ago, and it's just probably a non-needed stitch that's sitting on top, so we didn't waste too many bands. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go off camera, because I just can't post this like this. That just doesn't look nice. I'm going to either put this charm on it, or I'm going to post that charm on it. But in order to do that, I want to take these white bands off, and then I may just go ahead and sew these beads to the side of it as well, and just kind of make it work that way, because like I said, I couldn't use the LE like I wanted, because I would have done it all the same color as the red, but because they weren't stretchy enough bands, I couldn't do that. And the only part that I could have done differently is I could have put these green bands all down the center, and the purple ones, well, whatever. What's done's done. I'll just make it work somehow. I tend to always do. I'm going to play around with it and get it the way that I think it should lay, and I'm going to, if for some reason it falls apart, I won't post it, but I'm going to go ahead and take this white. Maybe I should do it while I got you on, that way. Kind of scared though. I'm wondering, maybe I should go back and look at my notes. I think it probably would work. I'm thinking because see, they're not really attached to anything. So you know what? While I have you here, I'm going to go ahead and start taking these bad boys off. If it falls apart, I just won't post it. That's all. Oh gosh, why I get nervous with these things. Boom. Okay, so I think that's all it's going to be needed. And I don't need to save the sweets. I only wasted like a few of them. Uh-oh, that's not good. That's attached to a purple band, so I may have just... Okay, I'm going to go off camera because obviously I made a boo-boo. And I'm going to see if I can't take care of it. I think what ended up, I'm going to tie that off before I totally take it off of the, because see, all the rest of them are coming off just fine. See that? It does work just fine. This is like a non-needed step that I didn't know until I went to make this and this happened. So I guess it's kind of a good thing it happened. Just going to go down and cut these. The only problem is that one that's up top there. Make sure you're only getting the white bands. That would be devastating if you got the purple. All right, let's just get this taken care of. Okay, so it looks like it's all held together. I know. That's how I live. I live on the edge. Oop, and it, oh, I thought it was coming apart. Whew. Okay. All right, so then the center will be kind of a neat little stitch. So maybe I do, oop, look at that. It's attached to that purple band, so I'm going to have to tie that out. Oh my gosh. How did I do that? Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to take all these out. And I think what I'm going to do is I am going to this is what I have left, are those two. So you'll get the gist. Look at the center and those stitches in the center. Isn't that kind of cool? So I actually like it better like this with those stitches. So if you took those off, look at that. I really like that a lot. So at the beginning of the tutorial, I'm going to state to not even bother with these beaded bands, and I think what would need to happen, there we go, I'm going to pop this through to the other side. See, you got to learn how to fix things because not everybody's perfect. Oh, you know what, and I didn't mess it up either. I'm just going to pop this off. Look, stayed together. Oh my gosh. I'm going to pop this guy to the other side. Just like that. Pull this band. Pull this off. Oh, look at there. Didn't even mess it up. Oh my gosh. I'm just a big stress case today. I'm going to stretch these out. Okay, so look at the stitches that are down the center. How cool is that? Now, I like that a lot. See? You just got to know what to do to fix it. I'm not sure if I'm going to put any beads on it. I may just go ahead and put a either a clear band or a fishing line and pop it through there and tie it off on the other side since I put them on the wrong bands. I imagine if you decided that you wanted to bead, if we leave this the step off with the long whatever we did for these white bands, if we left that part off, then basically you could bead the band that went across like this, like the backwards 7, or you could do the band that goes this way. You just have to figure out which one you can bead. Okay, that's cool. So now the dilemma. Does that look good with it? Or this one? I guess you'll have to wait and see when I post it. So sorry for all the clippings. Look at that. Oh, it was almost a disaster, but not quite, because I put an extra step in that design for no apparent reason. Wow, that's pretty amazing that I did that. But look at those stitches in the center. I'm so in love. Okay, well, this is the Sugar Plum bracelet. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm going to put in a little note not to add that center part. So, okay, well, I guess until my next tutorial, take care now. Bye.